Let's take a look at the filly and mare turf. It's a grade one, of course, on Friday's card. And this one, I believe, is going to be run at 1.125 since it's at Del Mar. But don't hold me to that. The last time they ran this at Del Mar in 2017, it was run at 1.125. That distance may change back to 1.316 or 1.375 or even 1.5 miles. But for now, we're going to base everything on 1.125. And we take a look at this field, and Mare, of course, leads the pack of the North American horses, let's say, and of course Didia. And then you've got a couple of pretty prominent Europeans, Emily Upjohn and Running Lion, who we just saw run a pretty good second in the Prix de l'Opera. So this is, and of course, the venerable warlike goddess. This may be her last race. We'll just have to see. And of course, let's not forget Cinderella's Dream, who's made a pretty big splash since coming over to the States. And as we do this, we're going to go through the horses who ran in the pertinent prep races. So we'll look at the profiles first, then we'll look at the race, and so on and so on, just so you know. Obviously, you've got a couple here who are multiple entered, like Mare, so that you'll be seeing them multiple times. And the first one we're going to look at is Full Count Felicia. And you see that's grass, pedigree all the way, pretty regal too, with Galileo on the bottom, Warfront Danzig on the top. She's trained by Kevin Attard, very prominent trainer in Canada. For those of you who play Woodbine, very familiar with him. And just a little plug, play the Cocktail Lounge on Thursday nights at Trust the Profits, where we see Kevin Attard quite a bit. Kazushi Kimura is the jockey, and it's interesting, he is listed as for a couple of different horses. So once again, you play that jockey roulette, see which one he chooses, and that may help impact your decision on who you want to use. Excuse me. Full Count Felicia, the most prominent race this year was the E.P. Taylor, where she just got off to, just bolted to the front and never looked back. Also in that race was Mare, the Canadian Horse of the Year from a couple years ago, Queen's Plate, now King's Plate winner. This one is trained by Kevin Attard as well, and got Rafael Hernandez aboard. Mare has been very active this year, starting with that really nice second in the Diana, then came back to win the Beverly D, and the E.P. Taylor, where she got second as well. Really didn't have much of a chance to do much else because Full Count Felicia just got to the lead and was gone. So let's take a look at the E.P. Taylor. So here's the E.P. Taylor from Woodbine, and you see it was a small but pretty deep field. You had Fev Rover in here as well as Mare and Full Count Felicia, and so that's a pretty good Canadian stock. And you had Blue Rose Sen, was trying to recapture the magic coming over from Europe, who was a really dominating horse as of last year. Turn on the volume a little bit, and here we go.
Off their race.
And you see Full Count Felicia in the four-hole,
and Mare got out with Full Count Felicia in the lead. Moira away nicely with the Blue Rose Sen the outside. And the one at the back early is Blushing, clearing away
Full
quickly.
Count Felicia just bolted right to the lead and was uncontested, and really that made the difference in the race.
2 lengths away is Blue Rose Sen in third. A length away fourth is Moira, and under wraps at the back is Blush.
Mare taking back,
continuing to increase the margin up front is Full Count Felicia.
And, you have to think they were just thinking she's going to, Full Count Felicia's going to fall back at some point. She just never did. She was in really good form. I liked her a lot in this race because she just looked like she had really good form coming into the race, and better than Fev Rover, who was second.
Head up the back stretch in the E.P. Taylor all alone, but she's done that before, and she leads by almost over a dozen lengths now. It's Full Count Felicia, well ahead of Fev Rover. About 2.5 to Blue Rose Sen. Blush on the inside, still with the ears pricked in a headaway last Moira. They've made no effort at this stage to go after this leader. And it is KK Kazushi Kimura who's trying to steal it.
You see Mare starting to get going, but really just,
her leader's
all
gone
of them
out
just
to
have way
almost
too much
18
to
lengths.
do.
In second placing, Fev Rover. Moira started to come on, is just a length and a half away in third. And behind them, second last, Blue Rose Sen. And last is Blush. Full Count Felicia still well ahead. Hasn't come back to the field at all. and they swing inside the 5/16
obviously,
at full
it's
count.
highly
Felicia
doubtful she's going to
marching
get this
away
kind
from
of
them
setup
still,
in
out by about
the
12
Breeders'
lengths
Cup,
to Moira. Fev Rover on the inside, and now we'll see what's
firing on all
left in the tank
cylinders
for
right
full
here.
count.
Here comes
Felicia
Mare
as
trying
the
to make a race out
stablemate
of it.
Moira, and in the centre, Fev Rover trying to make up the ground.
And I
There's
thought
7
Mare ran
behind.
fine, but
Full
it,
count. Felicia
just,
still in front. A furlong
much
to
to
run
do.
in the EP Taylor Stakes. Have they left it too late? It looks like it. Full count. Felicia well ahead for Kazushi Kimura by 5 lengths. And how magnificent was full count Felicia? Never in doubt. And full count Felicia wins the EP Taylor by almost 4 lengths to Moira. Fev Rover third, Blush fourth, and last Blue Rose Sen 1:59.29.
Next, we're going to have a look at horses who ran in the Beverly D, and we've already taken a look at Mare, who also ran in the Beverly D and won it. We also have Nisi Marie, and this is a horse who's been steadily improving this year and capping off with a win in the Kentucky Downs Ladies Marathon, but also had a pretty good third in the Beverly D. And when you consider the track was a little on the speed favoring side that day for a late runner to was kind of working against it, so she didn't run badly at all. So let's take a look at the Beverly D. Okay, so here's the Beverly D, and Mare is in the 6 hole, and Nisi Marie is in the 3 hole. And you see it's a small field. You have Fev Rover in there.
Fev Rover goes in. Moira to the outside. Jose Ortiz and Moira. They're in the gate. And the race is on in the Beverly D Stakes. Fev Rover showing out first, goes to the early advantage. Libin toward the inside was away in good order. And here's Moira working over from the outside as third, going to fall just in behind the top pair. As Fev Rover going to lead him past the 16th pole first time around. Libin going to sit second, a length and a half off last year's winner. Now going to switch toward the outside to attack from that second position. There's 2 more then back to Moira, who's third.
To me, it was
and
a
that
good
with 1
sign
beat
to
early
show
on. That's Nisi Marie.
That she's
and those 2 are at the back,
handy,
about 6 lengths front to back
malleable.
as they
So
work
those
toward the
couple
first of
things
those
I'd
2
like to see,
sweeping
whereas
turns here
you
on this
see
outer
Nisi
turf
Marie,
course. Fev Rover
kinda
at
has
the
to go
point.
to the back.
Fev Rover into that
Seems to
turn in
be,
front by just over
her
a length.
best,
Libin in
her
the second
wheelhouse, the
position.
best place is to come
Nadette
from
creeps through
behind.
down inside of Moira. There's
just a
third and
little
fourth now.
race
Nisi
note, I
Marie
thought.
trails. 23 and 2 for the opening quarter mile down the straightaway. They work their way toward the back stretch. That's Fev Rover in command. Fev Rover trying to throttle it down a touch, just a length in front of Libin as Moira stays perched out 3 deep in third. Length more back to Nadette, who's back fourth now. And Nisi Marie right to her outside. They're just 4 lengths front to back. After that opening half mile, they were able to slow it down just a touch there, 49 and 1/5 seconds. So Fev Rover, not as slow as last year, but a pretty slow pace up top as they lead it by a length to Libin, who tries to get a little closer now from second. Moira continues out 3 deep in third. Nisi Marie is now poked a nose into that 4th spot as Nadette stays toward the inside, but now they really take close order, just 3.5 front to back as Fev Rover takes them into the far turn. Libin, a challenger, a half length back. Moira continues to travel third, 3 wide as Fev Rover tries to get away from Libin. Fev Rover just 3/4 of a length in front. Now Moira starts to stoke the fires, is warming up on the outside. Nadette, meanwhile, taking the shortest way home, is in behind horses third. Nisi Marie is under a drive and Libin. Fev Rover brings him to the top of the stretch in the Beverly D, but company is coming. Here's Moira on the outside trying to charge after Fev Rover. Nadette going to swing towards the center of the course for the final furlong. Fev Rover on the inside of Moira. They're racing well apart. Nadette going to try to split the 2 of them. Moira on the outside, Fev Rover on the inside. These 2 for a final 16th of a mile. Fev Rover and Moira. Nadette back in third. It's Moira and Fev Rover. Moira just in front. Moira, I think she got it. Fev Rover was right there in the photo. Then came Nisi Marie and Nadette, who photoed third.
Next, we're going to have a look at the 3 who ran in the John C. Maybe handicap at Del Mar, and that's certainly a track that we want to pay attention to the prep races there. The first is Didia, and Didia has been just a really solid, consistent performer. The last race was a little, or prior to that, the race prior to the Maybe, distance was a little far, I think, for Didia. So if they do run this at 1 1/8, I think that's right in her wheelhouse, and she will certainly benefit from quite a few of the others. But this is a really solid performer, and you just have to love her. She just seems to bring it every time. Got a 4th in the Maybe, but this is a horse I'm willing to forgive that a little bit, and we'll take a look at the race and see how it went for her. But this is certainly one you have to think about. And that's probably the best female turf horse, and maybe the best horse, period, aside from Adair Manor now that she's out of it. This is one that's been a really solid stakes performer in California. My big question, of course, is the class. is that not facing a whole lot out there, and we'll have to see if she can step up her game. But if she can, she's certainly one that we want to pay attention to as well. And she finished third in the John C. Maybe. And then we have Hang the Moon, who for Uncle Mo with by a Malibu mare. This is another one for Phil D'Amato. He's going to be have a pretty good presence on the grass. And you see this Hang the Moon has a 2-race winning streak in the Rodeo Drive and the John C. Maybe. So this is a horse with a home court advantage and might be able to surprise. So let's have a look at the John C. Maybe Stakes race. Okay, the John C. Maybe Stakes is a Grade 2 at Del Mar. So since the Breeders' Cup's going to be run there, certainly this is a race that bears paying attention to. Just to take a look here, number 1 is Anisette. Number 2 is Hang the Moon, and Didier is in the 6 hole. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit, although we love Trevor Denman. Here we go.
All set now for the John Maybe Stakes. Fields
see a little bumping at the break there between Hang the Moon and Anisette.
Fuente,
I don't know that it mattered a whole
nicely.
lot.
So did Didier, though. And now Royal Charter in the white decides to kick on. Uncorked is down at the rail. Here's Anisette tucking in behind in the 5th spot. 5 off these leaders. Then we come back to Hang the Moon. And Lucky Girl quite content to trail early. Pastor Sands first time round. The pace pretty decent for the distance. Royal Charter goes on to lead now by 2 legs. In the 2nd spot comes
Hang the Moon,
on the outside for
lay in the weeds in the back there.
Now goes up to get 2nd. Here's Didier. Didier in the black colours 4th.
Didier and Anisette a little more forwardly placed.
Leader. It's a length and a half to
pace was
so the
pretty slow,
much
actually, I'd say, for
here.
California.
And then we drop back to Lucky Girl, and Hang the Moon is now 10 off the lead. They run to the half-mile pole, and Royal Charter in front by just the neck. Fuente Avehuna is on the far side. Here is Uncorked, a comfortable 3rd. Alongside of that comes Didier. Anisette just been allowed to bowl along in the 5th. Paces 5 off these leaders. Lucky Girl and Hang the Moon are still last.
You see all 3 of them pretty much easily saving ground.
Maybe in the long shot, Royal Charter
given the field size, not too hard to do.
Ovehuna right there in 2nd.
See, getting busy in Anisette and Hang the Moon on the rail there.
Loose. And here's Anisette at the rail. Does she find room? Anisette full of run. Got a beautiful gap now. And Anisette bursts through down the inside. Didier is coming home gamely on the outside. 1/8 of a mile to go. Anisette, the one to catch.
Another hole
Didier
opened up, boy. That five jockey just left it wide
coming
open.
late out here is Hang the Moon.
See, Didier was just a little short today, but Hang the Moon was not.
Lucky Girl.
Really solid
Anisette,
finish.
weakened late, finished a close 3rd, and then Didier.
Next, we're going to have a look at horses who ran in the Rodeo Drive Stakes at Santa Anita. And we've already looked at Hang the Moon, who also was in the Rodeo Drive as well as the John C. Maybe and won them both. Beach Bomb is a South African import trained by Graham Motion. Got Antonio Fresu, very underrated turf rider and just in general jockey. Probably not so underrated anymore, more like rated, but he's pretty good. Graham Motion, gets a lot out of a horse around 2 turns. This one has 4 wins, 8 in the money finishes, and 10 starts, though only for 142K. So hasn't been running in some real classy races, but did get a 3rd in the Rodeo Drive here. And then we have Aspen Grove, who came on the scene last year by Justify and More Than Ready underneath, and we all know what kind of sire Justify has become. Particularly on the turf, has really been an outstanding sire. But if you look back at his bloodlines, it's not a big surprise. Glen Hill Farm is one of those that, when they put horses in these stakes races, they do surprise quite often. And you've got Jack Sisterson, who's a nice trainer, and Juan Hernandez, the best jockey in California. So they mean business with this horse. I have always been a little down on this one. I think last year I believe he won the Glens Falls at Saratoga last year in kind of a depleted field, and it was one of those sort of, whoever just kind of got the trip races. I didn't think it was that big a deal. And this one's been an okay performer, and I'd have to certainly say a cut below the best in this race. But anyway, let's take a look at the Rodeo Drive. So this is the Rodeo Drive from Santa Anita, And I'm going to stop it real quick, and you'll take a look. Beach Bomb is in the 5-hole. Hang the Moon is in the 6-hole, and Aspen Grove is in the 7-hole.
In the gate. And they're off.
And pretty clean break for all of them. And you see Ice Cream, You Scream, number 4 was a pretty heavy favorite here for Little Red Feather.
Be Your Best comes away in second.
Pretty sharp out of the gate, but just really didn't take the turn very well at all. Pretty much blew it. And you can see that she's a handful there, but settles down a little bit. And you see Aspen Grove's content to lay off of her, a couple back. And you've got Beach Bomb, mid-pack, and bringing up the rear is Hang the Moon.
More than 10 lengths off Ice Cream.
You see the pace is pretty honest.
But
look at this, just blows the turn again. It's just, it's like a 2-year-old. And lost all position. Lucky Girl took advantage of it. And didn't slow it down at all. Kept the arms fractions.
Another 2 back to Be Your Best in third.
Aspen Grove's got a pretty good position, but it's starting look a little bit like the Beverly D with Full Count Felicia. Lucky Girl's kind of getting away a little bit, but you can see the pace is a little quicker than they had there. So maybe a little easier to catch her.
Aspen Grove along the inside gets a little nudge now. Fourth has now over 10 lengths off this leader. In the meantime,
Hang the Moon starting to rev up in the back there.
Hang the Moon and
Beach Bomb too, as well as Aspen Grove's going to save all the ground in the rail. But look at this. Look at how much ground Hang the Moon lost there. And still, with a real big kick late.
As Aspen Grove sneaks through on
and boom, right by all of them. And that's the best odds you're going to get on that horse in the future, I think. Maybe it'll be pretty good in the Breeders' Cup, but that was an ultra impressive race. When you consider how much ground she lost on a speed favoring turf course, I mean, that's a really impressive effort. You got to like that from Hang the Moon for sure. I thought Aspen Grove saved all the ground and, got a ground saving trip. And Beach Bomb ran pretty well, but certainly the star of the race, without a doubt, Hang the Moon. Cinderella's Dream, as a shipper who's been over in the States for a couple of races, the Belmont Oaks and the Saratoga Oaks Invitational, and we'll take a look at that one. For Godolphin, Charlie Appleby, William Buick, we know what they can do. 6 wins out of 7 starts. And, the one question I think we had about Cinderella's Dream was maybe the distance a little bit in the Saratoga Oaks Invitational, and she answered that question resoundingly. This is a really special horse, and 3 years old, taking on the older, which can't be underestimated. That's a really important and telling number, because a lot of times trainers don't want the 3-year-olds running against older, so they'll keep them out of the Breeders' Cup, and yet Charlie Appleby's probably going to run this one, so I think that probably speaks to what he thinks of this horse's quality and what she's demonstrated on the track. So let's have a look at the Saratoga Oaks Invitational. So here we go, the Saratoga Oaks Invitational, and you'll see on the rail is Cinderella's Dream in the familiar Godolphin Blue.
They're off in the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Oaks Invitational, moving on up, hopped in the air at the start. Makanga, as expected, goes straight to the front, but already under a tight hold as Kathy and Marissa moves through along the inside. Moving on up, third in the early going, Dancing and Dixie fourth, and Cinderella's Dream is 5 lengths off Makanga, who is kept well off the hedge, leading the way by a length and a half. Moving on up, Kathy and Marissa along the hedge,
blew the turn.
Dancing and Dixie,
they all
followed by Cinderella's Dream. The opening quarter went in a moderate 24 3/5
You see Cinderella's Dream just
so it is Makanga showing the way by 2.5 lengths. Very eager to go, but still strangled at this point in time. Moving on up in second, Kathy and Marissa also under a hold in third. Cinderella's Dream inches into a clear-cut 4th spot, just 4.5 or so off the pacemaker, and Dancing and Dixie is at the back. 49 and 4. All things going the way of Makanga early on. 2-length advantage. Kathy and Marissa right next to moving on up. Dancing in Dixie making an early bid as they try to quicken the tempo into the far turn. Cinderella's Dream yet to do her best running. Kathy and Marissa puts the pressure on Makanga rounding the far turn.
Cinderella's Dream, not worried at all
moving on
about
up
it. The
3
horse
deep.
in front, you can
Dancing
tell.
in Dixie. Cinderella's Dream, 4 lengths off them in the blue, inching into contention as they come to the quarter pole. 3/4 in 1:14-1. Kathy and Marissa, Cinderella's Dream cut loose, confidently ridden to in the center of the course, and here she comes. Cinderella's Dream has to get to Kathy and Marissa. Kathy and Marissa short lead. Cinderella's Dream alongside, just being nudged along. Too much class. Cinderella's Dream, a stroll in the park, winning the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Oaks Invitational.
I don't think we've seen nothing
Kathy
yet.
and Marissa, a good second. Dancing and Dixie was third.
Alice Verite is one of, I believe, 20 Japanese horses who are invading for the Breeders' Cup, and this one is has had a lot of starts, so for sure. And interestingly enough, the last couple have been at the Grade 3 level for Japan. This one has some back classes run at higher levels. On the Deep Impact line, that's a son of Sunday Silence, like most of the stallions are in Japan. But Deep Impact is the sire, so a son of Kazuna and Kazine underneath. So you've got some turf there. I was able to find a copy of the Nagata Kinen, her Alice Verite's last race, and let's take a look at it now and see what happens. Okay, so this is the Nagata Kinen, and have fun with the Japanese race call. I don't understand it either. You can see Alice Verite is in the 8 hole with the blue cross sashes on the yellow. And those of you who haven't seen a Japanese race before, be ready for the camera work. They go from top to rear.
まずは12番レッドラディエンス好スタート。合わせて10番バラジ、先頭に立って1馬身リード。しかし差を詰めていく4番新緑化、そして8番アリスベリテ。さらには1番ゴールドプリンセス。しかし8番アリスベリテ、柴田雄一郎、わずかに先頭。前から5頭目には6番アスクワイルドモア、4馬身後方、3番ジュン・アオニヨシ、あとは2馬身後方に9番キングズパレス、あとは5番のファイウェンが行って12番レッドラディエンス、そして後方に11番エーデルブルーメ、最後方7番のセレシオンの展開。早くも縦長、前から後ろまでは14、5馬身になって、さあその間に飛ばしていく8番アリスベリテ、柴田雄一郎、3馬身4馬身リードを取って、これから3コーナーカーブへ。2番手には4番新緑化、3番手は1番のゴールドプリンセス、3コーナーカーブ。さあ最初の 1000m は58秒9の通過。縦長、前から4頭目、6番アスクワイルドモア、並んで10番バラジ、3馬身後方に3番ジュン・アオニヨシ、あとは9番のキングズパレス、800を切って、その後方には5番マイウェンです。さあ後方からじわりじわりと12番レッドラディエンス、さあ4コーナーから直線に向いた。残り 600m、 前は8番のアリスベリテ頑張っている。リードは4馬身ほど。2番手は4番新緑化、3番手は1番ゴールドプリンセス。その後ろ広がって外からは9番キングズパレス、後方にいた12番レッドラディエンス、じわりじわりと差を詰めていく。内からは3番ジュン・アオニヨシ、先頭変わって4番新緑化、先頭に変わった。2馬身リード。2番手は1番ゴールドプリンセス、9番キングズパレス、3番手から2番手を伺っている。横に広がった大外は12番レッドラディエンス。さあキングズパレス1番で割って4番新緑化、新緑化、しかし間からセレシオン接近、並んでゴールイン。
But keep in mind, this is a prep
7番
race,
セレシ
I
オン
would
が
consider,
3着は
so
2
it's
頭
probably
激
not
戦。
tuned up
9
all the
番
way,
キン
but
グズ
it
パ
is
レ
a little
ス、そして1
concerning
番
that
のゴールドプリン
she
セス。
couldn't do a little better in a grade 3 when she had been running in grade 2s and grade 1s. Emily Upjohn is one of the potential Euro invaders from the UK, and by one of my all-time favorite European horses, See the Stars. This one is trained by John and Thady Gosden. You never underestimate John Gosden when he brings a horse over to the States. They always run great, and I don't care what their record is. I don't care what their back class is. If he brings them, he means business. So we want to keep that in mind. Kieran Schumark is the jockey. If you take a look at the record here, I've put an asterisk by Emily Upjohn's record because she is 0 for 5 this year, has not won a race. She's been certainly keeping good company, but this is a horse that was very well thought of at 3, and so as an older horse, hasn't been able to get on the win column, but has been running some good races and got a good third in the Prix Vermeil, and that's flattered by the fact that the winner of the race, Blue Stocking, came right back and won the Arc de Triomphe, and did so pretty impressively too. And I think if Blue Stocking were to come over, which I don't think she is, but if she does, she would certainly be the favorite in the Fillion Mare or the regular turf. And who knows, maybe she will come over. But anyway, let's take a look at the Prix Vermeil and see how Emily Upjohn did. Okay, here's the Prix Vermeil, and just a note here, Emily Upjohn is in the pale colored silks, number 3 saddle blanket. The thing to always remember about the French races is the ground is notoriously much heavier than it is in England, and so a lot of times you're not going to necessarily get the result of watching one of these races that you might get when the ground's a little firmer. And usually in the summer, like at Royal Ascot, the turf is much firmer, and it's a better indication of how horses, if they ship over to the States, will fare. So you just keep that in mind, that the ground is just it's soft.
That's it, all in.
It's just generally heavier.
Away. 2,400 meters then, they come out, stay alert and see the boss dropping in towards the back of the field early on. Blue Stocking, Emily Upjohn either side of the Wertheimer horse with the red cap, which is half day. First Wertheimer colours Aventure, blue and white colours left a picture off towards the running rail. Servian red and Opera Singer in the blue and orange comes next to the yellow jacket of Stay Alert against the rail. Belt is next in a brown jacket and red cap. They're well strung out. See the Boss is the blue and yellow. Dare to Dream, 3 from the right, followed then by Mosaic with a blue cap and Sparkling Plenty. Spots the leader about 20 lengths here. She is the back marker.
So as half day
it's a shorter goes through the league now by 2 lengths. Blue Stocking in second position, Aventure in blue on the running rail, and Emily Upjohn in a pale jacket alongside 3-4 together. Blue and orange colours of Opera Singer behind this. She's got 5th place at the moment from Servian red and yellow. Is out deep on the course to Stay Alert in a blue and yellow jacket against the rail. Bertha is next in brown colours as they have about a 4-length gap to See the Boss, with Mosaic up on the inside of her. Then Dare to Dream, and then the silver jacket of Sparkling Plenty at the rear of the field, but halfway in the Vermeil, and it's still half day, setting a pace by 2.5 lengths. Blue Stocking is right in behind her. Then comes Aventure and Emily Upjohn, a length and a half further back, 3rd and 4th together. Stay Alert from Opera Singer and Servi. They're all in line. Bertha, the brown jacket, ridden along behind those. Then comes Mosaic, who's attempting to make progress, but may have traffic problems. Behind this is Dare to Dream. Sparkling Plenty is going to be pulled to the outside by the looks of things to try and pick up as they head to the head of the straight. And coming off the rail was Half Day, and so Blue Stocking grabs the rails and goes on. Aventure's after her. Here's Emily Upjohn as well. The white face then of Opera Singer is 4th at the moment, trying to run on. Servi behind those. Aventure in the blue and white, but Blue Stocking in the pink cap against the running rail is trying to fight her off. Emily Upjohn's 2 lengths behind those. Opera Singer's behind him in 4th. They're well strung out here. Aventure trying to get past Blue Stocking, who's very determined and fighting her off. Blue Stocking has won it. Second Aventure, Emily Upjohn behind those, then Serbian Opera Singer and Sparkling Plenty finished 6th.
Second verse, same as the first. Running Lion is another one trained by John and Thady Gosden and Ocean Murphy in the irons. This one just ran a pretty good second in the Prix de l'Opera over at Longchamp last weekend on Arc de Triomphe Day, and kept on pretty well. And listen to the comments from John Gosden beforehand. He did mention that he thought if Friendly Soul, who won the race, would handle the surface, that she would run well, and she did. She won it. And he also mentioned he thought Rowan Lion was going to do just fine, and she did. So, again, the ground being softer, now moving to Del Mar, that's a big sea change from what they normally run on in France, and the distance is likely to be shorter. So a couple things to keep in mind when we watch the Prix de l'Opera. Okay, Running Lion is over in the 3-hole, I believe, in all green.
Away they go. They get out with Fallen Angel up in trip today, quickly into stride with Running Lion. They lead early on, and then Ylang and Friendly Soul in the white going through. Right on the outside, they're in orange. Mare takes a prominent position. American Sonia, the light spots on dark sleeves. She got blinkers on the first time today, is close up as well. And then Start of Day and Ylang, who racing together. Silver Jacket of Sparkling Plenty is further back, and Nalia in green. And the yellow chevron of Elusive Princess against the running well is just ahead of her, and Contempt in maroon and blue colours is at the rear. So they race up them towards the highest point of the course. Mare has come across to the running rail and leads. White Jacket of Friendly Soul is in second place. A red cap for Fallen Angel against the rails in third. Green colours is Running Lion, one off the rails in fourth, immediately tracked by American Sonia, who's around the outside and slightly behind Start of Day. Length and a half then to Elusive Princess, who's a neck ahead of Ylang. Sparkling Plenty in the silver, dropping a few places in behind Hanalia. And Content continues to be at the back of the field. There'll be a good 12-15 lengths first to last as they're on their way down the false straight and beginning the run towards home. Mare continues to lead. Sitting right on her tail is Friendly Soul, moving along nicely in second place. Fallen Angel against the rails in third. Running Lion is a necker behind her in fourth place. American Sonia and Start of Day are the next pair. Sparkling Plenty, Content on the right, beginning a move down the centre. Hanalia, Ylang and also Elusive Princess at the back of the field. Mare trying to fight off Friendly Soul, and her stablemate Running Lion coming in with the challenge. The left one from the left is Fallen Angel. Sparkling Plenty behind those. Friendly Soul in the white jacket has the lead now inside the closing stages. From Fallen Angel, the red cap in second. The green jacket Running Lion. Sparkling Plenty staying on, but Friendly Soul is in front, and she wins to her stablemate Running Lion in second place. Sparkling Plenty and Fallen Angel with the next couplets close between those for third and fourth places, but a very good race for John and Thady Gosden.
Final one we're going to look at is AG Bullet, or Ag Bullet, Silver Bullet, and from the periodic table of elements. Fun little fact for you. This one is really interesting. You know, ran in the Kentucky Downs Ladies Turf Sprint, and I loved that day, and went from probably, I think it was 15-1 down to the favorite at post time, and just ran a monster race, just blew that field away. And the fact that it was a sprint, and, you know, Kentucky Downs does play longer than that, was no surprise when they stretched this horse out in the first Ladies Stakes. Was compromised a little bit by running in the 10-hole, but still, I thought ran a credible race. So let's take a look at that. Okay, here's the First Lady in Ag Bullet.
And the First Lady presented by UK Healthcare. Slow start for Tawaba. Absolute last as they enter the first turn. In the meantime, Ag Bullet comes out for the lead. There's Ag Bullet moving up from the outside, clearing the inside traffic. White Beam moves forward as well. Gina Romantica right there, saving ground to the inside in third. Special Juan, a lane off the rail. In fourth, Evie Jets, fifth back toward the inside. Walkathon will go in sixth.
Safin
is seventh. Implicated is eighth. Tarawa moves up 2 spots from last into ninth. Only for a moment though. Fluffy Socks moves back up to her inside, and further back Chili Flag is last of the 11. The opening quarter went in 22.81 seconds. Up the backstretch they go. Ag Bullet the leader. Ag Bullet against the rail leads it by nearly 3 lengths. White Beam second a length. Gina Romantica third ahead. Special Juan is fourth in between horses. Walkathon is fifth toward the far outside, heading to the far turn. Nearly 5 lengths off the lead though, and is followed by Evie Jets. And then comes Fluffy Socks to the inside as they move midway on the turn. Safin implicated 4 wide. Tarawa next to last. Chili Flag against the rail, still last, 9 lengths from the front. Ag Bullet the leader. Ag Bullet 3 lengths to the good, a quarter mile to go. Gina Romantica now tries to pick up the chase from the inside, switches off the rail. She's still second, and then Special Juan and White Beam. Fluffy Socks is fourth back toward the inside. Here's Gina Romantica moving forward to take the lead from Ag Bullet. Chili Flag is running late from far back, but Gina Romantica has the lead. It is
You gotta
Chili
wonder if a
Flag
mile
to
and an eighth
second.
or longer is
Gina
really what the
Romantica.
horse wants.
Jose
Probably
Ortiz
not.
goes back-to-back on the card. Gina Romantica wins the first late 8 presented by UK Healthcare. 1 minute 33.8 seconds.
So that's the filly and mare turf. And before any of you comment and tell me that this race is on the Saturday card, it is. And I apologize. It is on the Saturday card, not the Friday card at Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup. So sorry about the typo there. So that's the filly and mare turf, and I think it's going to be a pretty interesting field. We'll see what Euros come in, but it looks like it's going to be a good race. It usually is. I hope our analysis and our presentation here helps you with your own strategy formulation and your own research into the Breeders' Cup. And if you do like what you see here, of course, please like and subscribe, and we really do appreciate it. Thanks to all of you who have been part of the community, and any of you who joined, we really appreciate it. Good to have you aboard. We're going to do this for all 14 races, so stay tuned for more content. And that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.